Hi, yeah, I'm just going to work through the JavaScript climbing task now over a series of videos. So I'm just going to do number one here. So first of all, we have to make sure we've got the images and the files and so on that you're supplied with an HTML file and a JavaScript file. We used this at Nat5 when we did a little bit of JavaScript, and we've just made it slightly more complex for hire. Um, so if you're not sure where to find them, by the way, you should have them you'll get them in the web design and development, and they're there somewhere, aren't they? Practical tasks. Download that and unzip it. Okay, uh, so here we are. Here's the HTML file. Oh, I'm halfway down it. HTML file and the scripts file, the JavaScript file. Um, and what it looks like at the moment is this. Well, give it half an hour while my computer gets going. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Right, now at the moment we've got a little bit of JavaScript being used here already to invert the colors on top roping. Let me zoom in a bit. We could of course do that with the hover pseudo class, but the point here is to get a bit more confident with some JavaScript stuff. So that's not what I want to do. I want to look at what the actual task is. So use the invert function to make the list items invert colors. And move over them and return to original colors when it moves off them. Okay, this is almost Nat5 really actually. So we've got all these different functions in here. The one that's been used for this is invert, which will be in here somewhere. There are no particular, there we go, invert. And we've got an example of how to use it. And we've also got an example here, of course, because this one's done for us. Here is the first list item, the top roping one. We've got on mouse over, call the invert function, passing the ID of this element, and on mouse out, invert function passing the ID of this element. So let's just copy and paste that. Copy, Control C, and chuck it in here somewhere in that opening li tag for bouldering. There we go. And because it just takes it just takes the ID of the element we want to invert as a parameter, we could of course, I'll show you something in a moment. Let's just check. So I've just pasted that into the two other list items, and let's refresh it. Did I save that? I think I did. Yeah, stunning. I just want to show you a little something. That's it, by the way. Feel free to stop now. But this.id basically means the ID of this element. This is a special little keyword. I could do this, I could make it so that when I hover over list item, the second list item there, bouldering, it could do something totally different, like P1. Let's pass in P1 as the parameter. And when I save that, actually let's do it for this as well. There we go. And so when I hover over, when I move over bouldering, it should actually invert P1. Let's just check if it works. Doing classic. That's just ruined my video. I'm going to pause that and work out why it isn't working. I remembered. Of course I remember. There's a funny little thing. You'll have noticed in here that for some reason I chose to do the list items, the colors of them with an inline style. That's because doing this stuff doesn't work if you haven't set these styles in line. It's a funny little thing. So I can get that to work, get my little demonstration to work by setting the style there in line. Just a funny little thing. I remember that puzzled me for ages. So now if I refresh this, when I go over bouldering, there. And of course, I'm just going to add in even more, just to help you understand this. I could put a semicolon in there and also get it to invert this. Whoops. There we go. I'll do it for on my site as well. That means do both these things. I mean, that's getting quite hard to read, isn't it? There we go. Let's try that. So now when I move my mouse over the second list item, it's going to invert P1 and it's going to invert this list item. I hope. Possibly. We'll see. Oh, I think I've just destroyed it completely. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's right. Right, anyway, there you go. Classic stuff. Remember, what you need to know for IR is just on mouse over, on mouse out, and on click. And you'll maybe deduce a bit from looking at a sample of JavaScript code. So the more familiar you are with it, the better. Anyway, that's rambled on for longer than you would expect. I better stop. See ya.